It's Monday the 2nd of June 2014, back at St Mary's Finedon, and the organ is still in scaffolding, but we're making progress, and currently all the pipes have come out to be and have been cleaned, and so they're all down the north aisle. And we've got here Edmund Holmes, the organ builder, and John Norman having a look at the pipes to note the historical interest within the pipes. So the pipes we're just looking at are the 12th on the grate, noting down any particular features. John, would you be able to say what you're doing? I'm doing this for this video blog.
Well, we are identifying which pipes are original, and by looking at the marks we have already identified the fact that the pipes are certainly by Father Smith.
Yeah, which is great news, I suppose. Yes, because there was a question mark whether it was Schreider or Smith.
There is no question, because the marks are exactly the same as the Smith organ in Great St Mary's, Cambridge. Obviously there are individual pipes that are not original, like the bottom C sharps.
Yes.
And some of the top notes. But by and large, and the pipes have not been transposed, they're still speaking the same notes that they did 300
years ago. Yeah, fantastic. So what specific marks would you be looking at to know that they're Smith
basically,
features?
There is a mark on both the foot and on the body of the note, and the style of writing of which those marks are is characteristic. And the marks of the Great St Mary are known and have been published.
Okay.
And so I can compare them with this.
Okay, yes.
And they're the same.
Great, that's good. Excellent. Super. So you're doing the 12th now, and you're doing that on...
We looked at the opener, looked at the principal, we're doing the 12th.
Right.
We're working our way through.
And you work through all the Smith pipe
I'm
work.
also taking the scales and the cut-ups, which is the height of the mouths, so that we can establish what his normal working practice was.
Okay. Yeah.
And that, I would expect, will become the subject of a in quotes, scholarly, unquote, paper in due course.
Yes, which will be all useful information for people to know. Yeah, excellent. Great.
Okay.
Thank you. And the pedal board has been restored as well, which is very exciting for the organist. You can see the additional wood that's been added onto the top. It's the horn, swell reed, the horn. So these have all been cleaned and they'll be put back in the organ fairly soon. So we're now upstairs at the organ console with Edmund, who will tell us a bit about what's happened so far.
This last few days we've been reassembling the key action, which starts from the top and then works its way down to the keys. There's these set of levers which operate the different manuals. They're sort of located by a series of linkages from behind, which we can see from a different direction. But where the linkages come up from the keys, what we call the stickers, they go through a hole in the bottom there, which opens out into a slot at the top to allow a bit of movement. They were extremely worn before, so we've had to splice in the little bits of wood, which you can just see on the side there. Perhaps see a slightly paler bit of wood there. So that just has a hole drilled through it, whereas before it had worn into a slot, so nothing was being located properly. So that was a very lengthy part of the job.
So they link up with the 3 manuals,
Yes,
those 3
they're what we call
sections.
stickers,
Okay.
wooden rods like that, which come all the way down to the keyboard.
Uh-huh.
They go through a hole in there, like that.
Okay.
Whereas before they could just move backwards and forwards quite freely, so nothing was
Yeah.
being located. Now, so they're just going through a small hole at the bottom, but it opens out into a slot at the top, so it allows a bit of movement as this goes through an arc as it moves.
Right. Yeah.
So the whole thing will be a lot quieter and more responsive now.
Yeah. So what's the next stage within
There are some more
here?
linkages to go in. The swell organ has link rods which go we call trackers, which go all the way to the back of the organ. We can't put those in until we get the keyboards back, which we're still waiting for.
Right.
Probably the next thing we'll do is put the bellows back into the organ.
Yeah. So the bellows are on the floor where the bench
They
is.
they sit on this framework here.
Yeah.
It's just quite.
Which is.
It's quite difficult to get those in, so obviously we don't want too much
Yeah.
assembled, otherwise
Yes.
it's in danger
So
of breaking things.
So they go over the scaffolding.
Yes.
Get winched up over the scaffolding and then over the balcony and in, which is a bit of a pain,
Yes,
to say the least.
Very difficult.
Yeah. And have you done something to one of the stops? So we repaired one of the
This is a
stops.
replacement stop knob. The original had been eaten away by mice or something, so we've used the original ivory and turned a new knob to match the original.
Gosh.
These have yet to be repolished. They're quite dirty still, but
Yeah.
they're cleaned up, so they'll be a similar finish to that eventually.
Yeah. Super. Okay. Right thing. Thank you.
Okay, so this is another part we've been repairing. There again, the holes have worn into slots, so we've put tough leather overlays on those. Turned over so it opens up into a slot there.
Oh yeah.
In fact, that same width the slot went right through. So if you can imagine a wire going through that, it would have no particular location. It could vary
Yeah.
within about 5mm. So that just accounts for the wear.
Uh-huh.
Those ones, by contrast, you see that's how it should be. Just
Yeah.
a hole going through to a slot. They've not worn in that direction.
Uh-huh. Oh. This is from the other side, looking the other way.
All the levers you can see there, which are in a straight row except for the odd ones drop down there. The levers are not inherently in a straight row, we actually have to adjust them like that. The vertical trackers, as we call them, have threaded wires on the end and leather adjusting nuts. We have to wind each one up to exactly the right point to level the key action up.
Right.
And that's the means of adjusting the keys.
Yeah.
And the levers have all been repivoted. They've got cloth bushings in the middle where they pivot on a bronze wire. So again, it's got rid of the slack.
Yeah.
Requires it to play.
Okay.
And again,
The
at the
same
back,
here.
you see another set of these squares.
Yeah. Excellent. So somehow sorry, I get excited about the bellows and the major operation of the bellows. We come over the scaffolding there, and then down and into the base of the organ, which is tricky because they're so heavy.
We need at least 4 people to do that.
Great.